Hey, it's the afternoon here in Florida, and lordy, is it hot. 82, and it just has this heavy, heavy feel. I hate it. I'm miserable, but I'm going back out in this craziness anyway, so I forgot that tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And Maggie messaged me, and she's like, I need this. And I'm like, cool, okay, I'll go get it. And first it was, get a pie, and I said I'll get one at Walmart, and she said no, not Walmart, get one from Publix. And I'm like, I hate Publix, but I'll get one anyway. Then she says, no, don't get a pie, I'll make one. And I know she can't. She's got too much going. The business needs her. She's not feeling all that great. And so I remembered there was this bakery on there's a bakery and I've never been there, and I've always wanted to go. And lordy, I got my exercise in, because I didn't know that there was a parking lot behind the building. No, I parked around the corner, and I walked 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 and I walked, and I got to the bakery, and I went inside, and everything was bare. I'm like, oh no. And I'm seeing all these pie boxes stacked up all over the place, all of them saying paid with the name of the person who bought them or ordered them, right? He said, can I help you? And I said, you don't have any pies left, do you? Yes, I do, he said. And I'm like, is he going to pull them out of the freezer? I didn't know. He needed to make a coffee, which took him 20 minutes. This was the craziest thing. Thank God I was right behind the guy with the 20-minute coffee. I've never seen a guy so slow in my life, but that's cool. I was very friendly, very sweet. Take your time. I'm just going to sit here on the bench and try to catch my breath after that walk, right? And I have my, my cloth bag for my pies, and wasn't nearly big enough. So anyway, I'm sitting, I'm waiting, and he says, okay, so for pies I have blah, 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 blah. And I said, apple and pumpkin. As soon as he had said apple and pumpkin, please, I said. And so he put them on the counter. I'm just going to be a few more minutes, because he was still making the 20-minute coffee. And it must have been probably more like a 40-minute coffee, because he was working on it when I walked in. So then another woman walked in, and she had pies that she had already ordered, but I was next. And so about half an hour after I walked in, I got to pay for my pies, and they were completely outrageous, but the most beautiful looking pies I've ever seen. And I'll take pictures of them and send them to you tomorrow. And so cute. They get little marzipan. I'll show you tomorrow. So adorable. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, those are beautiful. Outrageous. And then they wanted a tip, and I put no tip. Are you kidding? I come in, I wait 30 minutes for you to make this other guy a coffee. I pay an astronomical amount per pie, okay? No joke. And he wants a tip? So anyhow, and I thanked him sweetly, and I go out the back door, and I realize there's a dang parking lot with handicap spots. I could have parked right there, but I needed to walk anyway. So I walked, and 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 these pies are heavy. And I'm walking, and I'm like, I hope I don't drop the pies, because I got my cane in one hand. I'm holding the pies. I had to just like lean the cane on my wrist, because I couldn't even use the cane because the pies were so heavy. Finally, I get to the vehicle, get in the vehicle. Well, the pies went in the vehicle first, then I went in the vehicle, and I'm like, oh, Lord, please don't let me stop short. The pies will go flying, and all that money wasted. So I went to the Publix near Maggie's, and I went in there, and I was on a scooter, and I couldn't find Bell's stuffing seasoning. It's a New England tradition. If you know, you know. And so I was never that crazy about it, but yeah. So yeah, Maggie needed that, and a few other things. So I'm driving around, and I see this young man stalking, and I said, I went into Spices, and I cannot find the Bell's stuffing seasoning. He didn't know what the heck that was. And so he says, okay, let me look at my phone, blah, 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 blah. He says, the stuffing? I said, no, it's a little yellow box. I said, there's no way you can miss it. It's a seasoning mix, like herbs and stuff, in a little yellow box with a cute little turkey on the front. And no, I've never seen that. And he said, let's go and look in aisle 3 where the stuffing was. So we went there, and I needed to buy Finn's stuffing anyway, low sodium chicken. So I bought, stovetop. I bought 4 boxes of that. They were on sale. And then they're cheaper at Walmart, but what the heck. No, they're not cheaper in Walmart because of the sale. No, they are cheaper at Walmart, but who cares? Anyhow, right. So I'm standing there in aisle 3 talking with the young man. I said, no, it's not here. I said, you would know it. It is a bright yellow box with a cute little turkey, and then a manager comes from behind. What are you looking for? I said, do you have Bell's stuffing seasoning? He said, I think we have a few boxes left, and he walks away. And I start going down the aisle as slow as you can go in one of those dang things. It was a slow poke, a scooter. And the young man, we said our adioses, and I said, thank you so much for helping me. And thank God the manager came behind us, because there is no way I would have gone way to the front left-hand side of the store, near where the flowers and the bakery is, to look for the stuffing seasoning. No way. Well, it comes around the corner, and I'm still coming down the aisle because I'm slower than molasses with that thing. And, do you want this? Yes! And so that went in the cart. And then I swung around. I got a few other things that Maggie needed. And I got to the cash register. And, God just opened the way for me, right? It was an insane asylum. And I'm like, Lord, I need to park close, and there's not any handicap parking. And so I'm like, I'm going to use a strategy. I can see that there is no handicap parking in the next 4 rows. I'm going to go down this row. I'm going to go by the row that goes that way and past that one. Then I'm going to go down the next row that comes back down and pray that I can find any parking. Well, it just so happens there's a car in front of me, and there's an SUV pulling out of the first handicap spot on that row. And I'm like, oh God, please don't let the little black car be handicapped. And they weren't. And so the SUV took forever to pull out, you know how old people are, and get into the main aisle to get out of there. And the little black car pulled ahead, and I pulled right into that handicapped spot. And I got to tell you, I was thrilled to death. And then, while I'm, scootering around inside the Publix, I come down the health and beauty aisle, and I see a free and clear cashier. I'm like, how can this be? And the thing's going like half a mile in 10 hours, and I'm like, oh, please, I've got to get in that row before like 10 people run over when they realize aisle 6 has nobody. I got right in there, got my stuff checked out. Another nice young man said, I'll come with you, because they want to bring the carts back because people will drive away with them. Yeah, it's a thing. So, would you believe that? So I was able to check out, and him and I chit-chatted, and, little things to say, and joking around. And I was able to get into my truck and drive away and get right over to Maggie's and drop off those groceries. But the boys are going to want vanilla ice cream on that apple pie. And no one ever got the crackers for the cheese. And I need some milk. So I'm going to go to the Publix up on the other end of town, because it's one of my most favorite ones to go to. I really hope they have a cart. And I might get some fresh fruit, because I am just dying for something watery and juicy and sweet. Maybe I'll get a watermelon chunk bowl. They cut it up, and it's outrageously expensive, but hey. And then, so I'll get the vanilla ice cream. I will get my grass-fed milk. I usually get a half gallon of that. And French vanilla ice cream is the demand, and some crackers. And then I will come home, and I will stay here till tomorrow. Mercy. I don't want to go back out. I do need to do my laundry, so I am going to go upstairs and try to do that later this afternoon. So that's my 10-minute video about what I did today, what I did on my Thanksgiving vacation. And yeah, I'm done with all that. I am so elated. I do no cooking. I will help in the kitchen, but I'm so glad, you know, with this back, it takes me hours to boil a hot dog now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway. So a happy Thanksgiving to you all, and I hope it's a good one, you know. If you don't have family and you are close to a Golden Corral, it's a great place to have a Thanksgiving meal for a very reasonable price, under $20, especially if you're senior. I think it's like $11.99, though I don't know if Thanksgiving Day will be more expensive, who knows. But, you know, that's a possibility if there's only one or two of you and you don't want to go all out, right? And that's the long and short of it. Yeah, okay, that's my story and my Thanksgiving plans. I will do a short of the pies tomorrow and probably some of the festivities, you know, the turkey making and the cranberrying and, you know, all that stuff. Right. Okay, bye.